You're looking to invest in Abuja and possibly you want to buy a land where you can live in the next 1 year. Now you're looking to live within the elite neighborhood. You're looking to live within an environment where you have infrastructure. You're looking to live close to town. I'll be giving you these locations here in Abuja that you can buy right now with government approvals. You don't have any issue to worry. Government layouts, meaning the government is aware, the government did the allocations. There is no need to panic about demolition and all of these things. That is what you are looking to buy in Abuja. It is these places that I'll be mentioning to you now. Number one location that is has proximity to town, that has modern infrastructures, modern building, has government layout, has government documents. Number one is Guzape 2. Right? Guzape 2 is the extension of the main Guzape. Right? So if you are looking to live within the elite neighborhood, live within the proximity to town, live within the government's carved out, government approval location in Abuja, I advise you to buy a piece of land in Guzape 2. Guzape 2 is just immediately after the main Guzape, right? And then Guzape 2 is currently undergoing through infrastructure by the FCDA. They are currently doing the road network, the water, the lightning, everything is done on the ground. It's a super beautiful place. Since last year, that place has been on a lockdown. A construction company has been working there since last year, and they are doing the drainage, they are doing the lightning, water, everything is underground. The Guzape 2 is going to look more beautiful than the main Guzape because of these few things I've mentioned. Imagine a place where the water, the light, the lights, all of them are going to pass through underground. It's a solid, very well planned location. And the FCD, the FCTA, they are aware of this location. They are the one carrying out this infrastructure to ensure that this place is top notch. So if you are looking for security, you're looking for proximity to town, you're looking for government approved location, you're looking for an area with elite neighborhood, you're looking for an area with modern infrastructure, Guzape 2 is a go for you. But you need to note that locations like this do not come cheap. Guzape 2, right now, you might get a 500 square meter for above 50, 60, 70 million, depending on the real estate company that is selling to you. Some real estate companies sell 500 square meter to as high as an 80 million naira. Some sell above. So depending on the real estate company, depending on the title of the land, because some Guzape 2, like we know, if you don't know, some Guzape 2 are under the area council, and those Guzape 2 parts are cheap, right? So if you are buying an FCDA allocated Guzape 2, you need to note that it's quite expensive compared to the other area councils. I wouldn't want to go into details to explaining why the area council is cheaper, why the FCDA is more expensive. I believe I've done that in some other of our videos, but I'll just give you a little hint on that. The FCDA is directly from the Federal Ministry of FCT, and then the area council is from the local area council. So which you know that the area council supersedes the federal FCDA supersede the area council, right? So, but if everything is done well, the area council might not have any challenge. Because of course, you know that the area council was bought cheaper, the document is cheaper, right? The FCDA is bought more expensive, the documents are more expensive, and is the highest title of documents in the land, right? It could be it could be R of O. I don't know if anybody has C of O in that location. I believe some people have, but mostly in that location is currently right of occupancy, because it's not been long these allocations were actually done. So whichever one you get, ensure that you do your verifications very well. Whichever one you get, if you are getting an area council, you need to note that the price will not be as high as the one for FCDA. If you are getting an FCDA, you need to note that the price will be more expensive than the area council. Number 2 location you look up to if you want to live in an elite neighborhood that will not be too pricey, because some of these elite neighborhood, old, where you call the old money in Abuja, are actually very, very pricey. You'll be hearing 500 square meter going for 1 billion, going for 800 million, right? But I'm giving you locations in Abuja where you still have the elite neighborhood. In fact, they are even more modern, right? At very affordable prices. You have the Katampe extension, right? Katampe extension falls under the phase 2 of Abuja, and Katampe extension is opposite the Jai and barely opposite the Gwarimpa of Abuja, right? Katampe extension is the extension of the main Katampe. Katampe extension has luxury, right? Katampe extension is reserved, is mostly called the diplomatic zone. The Katampe extension is a solid, a very beautiful, a very reserved neighborhood for the elites, for people that like serenity, people that like security, people that like, beautiful environments. Katampe extension is actually a very beautiful place for you to get a plot of land, either to buy, to build for your personal stay, to buy, to, build, to sell, to buy for land banking. Katampe extension is actually a very beautiful location. Katampe extension has the areas as well that are FCDA, and it has the area that are area council, right? You need to also note that the prices actually differs in the document. So whichever one you're buying, either area council or FCDA, ensure that you're not buying, you're not cheated, you are not sold area council for the price of FCDA, right? So ensure that you confirm your document very well, because these areas are prone to scams, land scammers, racketeers, and fraud are mostly prone in these locations because of the high demand of these locations and the high demand of these locations, right? So Katampe extension is a very beautiful place that you can invest right now in Abuja. So another top location, right, for the elites, for those that have the Katampe extension sells for you can get lands there depending on the size for 20 million, 30 million, 50 million, 100 million, depending on the size. I think 1,000 square meter in some of the new ongoing estates goes for 1,000 square meter goes for up to 100 million naira, right? If you're getting a 500 square meter, you can get it for 50 million. Some estates you can get for 30 million naira. So just ensure that you're buying from the appropriate people. But Katampe extension is a very beautiful place to actually invest right now. In fact, I got an information today that the FCT minister is currently planning to put up infrastructures in Katampe extension, right? So if you are looking to get luxury, looking to get security, looking to get serenity, looking to get modern infrastructure, Katampe extension is a good to go for you. Another location that you need to actually look at for if you are looking for security, modern infrastructure, elite neighborhood, and all of these top things that we mentioned earlier is Asokoro 2, right? Asokoro 2 is actually a very beautiful developing location in Abuja. We have the Asokoro, the old money, right? Where you have the elites, where you have the who and who, where they live, right? So right now, you want to get a 500 square meter in Asokoro main, you should be talking about 800 million, 1 billion, depending on the location, depending on the title, depending on who is selling, right? But you could get very solid, beautiful location, the Asokoro 2 here in Abuja. It has the modern infrastructure, it has security. Asokoro district is actually the most secured district in Abuja. That is where you have the president. That's where you have the vice president. That's where you have your senators. That's where you have your House of Rep members. That's where the seat of power resides in Abuja. The Asokoro is where the seat of power resides in Nigeria, right? So you should know that this location is actually very, 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 very prestigious and very, very beautiful to actually live in. Asokoro 2 is actually a very beautiful place. It is the most secured district in Abuja. That's where you have, I mentioned earlier, the president, the senate president, the vice president. That is where they live. That is where their offices are, right? So you should note that is a very beautiful place. Asokoro main is actually out of reach right now. You should be talking about billions to acquire a property, a piece of land in Asokoro. So, but if you're looking to have a touch of Asokoro, not too far from each other, not too much of a distance. Asokoro 2, Asokoro extension is actually where you should be looking out for. So in these locations, you could be having some 500 square meter going for 30 million, 40 million, 50 million, 60 million, depending on the company you're buying from, and then depending on the title they actually have. And then one interesting thing you need to note is that Asokoro 2 has a part that falls under Nasarawa State. I know you are shocked. Asokoro is in Abuja. So what concerns Nasarawa and Abuja? What concerns Nasarawa and Asokoro? Right now, I need you to note that Nasarawa State shares very close proximity with Abuja. Right? So this close proximity has given Nasarawa State the advantage to share very close boundary with Abuja. So on ground, there are places in Abuja, there are places that are actually, if you are not told, you will not know that you've entered Nasarawa State. So you have a line like this, right? Here is Abuja, here is Nasarawa, the same place. So it is someone that knows, or somebody that knows the demarcation, that will tell you this place now is under Nasarawa State. On paper, but on ground, they're actually the same thing. So most of the land under Asokoro 2 actually fall under Nasarawa State, right? So some of you will be like, no, I don't want Nasarawa. Now I need you to note that Nasarawa part of Asokoro 2 is actually the most interesting part to buy. Why will I say so? It has government right of occupancy or certificate of occupancy. So what is the big deal, right? And it's quite cheaper. So you don't have any business with the FCT minister because your property falls under Nasarawa State. It is beyond his jurisdiction to have a business with. So those of you that are scared, I don't want to have problem with the wiki, so you can quietly buy Asokoro 2, the part that falls under Nasarawa State, and have a peace of mind. But some of us, we really don't understand how these things work. It's just like in Lagos. Some part of Ogun State falls under Lagos. So unless they tell you, that's when you know that I'm actually in Ogun State. But from the distance, you're actually it's actually Lagos, but on paper, it's actually Ogun State. So if you are looking, the most interesting thing there is, am I enjoying security? Am I enjoying elite neighborhood? Am I enjoying modern infrastructure? Am I enjoying modern buildings and all of these things? Of course, yes, you are enjoying all of these things. So why should you bother yourself? Now, I need you to know that it is not every realtor, it's not every real estate company that want to reveal to you most of these details. But at Amucham Properties, we actually review these things, right? So that you will be carried along, and then you know that whatever decision you are making it informally, right? So in this video, I've been able to tell you 3 top locations where you can get lands in Abuja at affordable prices, and then still have the feel of living within the solid elite neighborhood. Another top, let me just give you a free one for this, is Jai, right? Jai is a very good location right now in Abuja, but land there are quite pricey. In fact, they are not even available, right? In Jai now, a 500 square meter will be going for 500 million, 600 million, 700 million, right? Maybe if you get it cheaper, I don't know, but most of these lands, they actually use for JV, joint ventures. Most of them are used for mini estate and all of these things. So you can actually see that Abuja is getting out of reach. So if you are looking to buy lands in Abuja, depending on whatever purpose you want to use it for, you can actually reach out to us at Amucham Properties. At Amucham Properties, we don't just sell lands or houses. We actually know everything about real estate in Abuja, right? So if you are looking to buy property in all of these locations I've mentioned, top locations, top documents, top everything in Abuja, kindly send us a WhatsApp message. Our number will be on the screen, or follow us on all our social media platforms: YouTube at Amucham Properties, Instagram at Amucham Properties, TikTok at Amucham Properties, and then you can also reach out to us on Facebook at Amucham Properties. Thank you for watching. Today is 24th of September 2025. We'll see you next week, Wednesday. Have a good day.